10 years ago today, I posted the very first video to my YouTube channel. A tutorial on the back in time glitch from Twilight Princess. And I decided that video kind of sucks. A lot of it is spent just trying to get the trick in the first place, and then when I finally get it, I don't even do a very good job at explaining it. So, as a 10-year-old celebration of this video, I'm going to give this trick the proper explanation that it deserves. Glitches in video games are usually widely known for how complicated and crazy they seem to be. We live in a time now where a lot of these commonly ran speed games have the most outlandish and insane tricks that require meticulous execution with frame-perfect inputs. And as a result, a commonly asked question is, how does stuff like this even get found? Who even finds stuff like this? Well, most glitches in games are usually reverse engineered, as in they have an objective they want to complete, they just need to find a way to do it. Take carpetless in Super Mario 64, for example. The carpet is slow, and so speedrunners want to find a way to skip it to get straight to the top of the house in the sky. Various different ways are tried and tested until an optimal and consistent method is found that is still used in runs today. This, however, cannot be said about back in time. See, when you have tons of players constantly playing a game, some of which are trying to become top-level speedrunners, it's only a matter of time before the inevitable happens. Just a year after release in 2007, user MasterLinkX reset their Wii after falling in this pit in Arbiter's grounds. Expecting their Wii to just take them to the title screen, instead, this happened. How? What happened? How are you able to just teleport Link to the title screen and actually have control? Well, it works like this. See, in Twilight Princess, the title screen is a little cutscene that shows Link running around Hyrule Field. This is actually a save file that exists in the game. Think of it as a secret fourth save file. Every time you reset the console, the game has to load this fourth file, as well as the Hyrule Field. This, also, is actually a special version of Hyrule Field that is always set to the evening to create the better lighting for the more cinematic intro. This special version also removes all enemies from the map, as to not interrupt Link on his path. When voiding out, the game is told to respawn Link at his last entrance. When I enter the Arbiter's grounds on this side of the room, and void out, I respawn here. But if I go to the other end of the room, come back, and void out, I respawn on this side. That's just a simple way to make the player have to restart at a small penalty for falling in the pit. Well, what happens if you reset the console on the same frame Link voids out? And that is exactly what happened to Master Link in 2007. Voiding out and frame perfectly resetting the console, causing the game to both load the fourth file, the Hyrule Field map, and respawn Link at his last entrance point, which is now set to the spot he spawns in the intro cutscene. So how does one get a frame-perfect reset? Well, there are a couple of consistent setups. Let me show you. So basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to grab this ledge here. I'm kidding, I'm not going to film my TV. I have a capture card now, like, come on. The first thing you want to do is grab this little spot on the bridge here and press A to let go. Then immediately hit right on the D-pad. If done correctly, Link will let go of the bridge, and briefly the game will open the map screen. If that happens, you want to press B, you want to hold start, then X, then finally B. That last B press is going to unpause and cause Link to fall. However, start plus X plus B is actually a reset code for the GameCube, and it'll actually trigger a reset as soon as the game unpauses. Unfortunately, this consistent method only works on the GameCube version. If you're a Wii player, your best bet is to side hop off the bridge and pause. If you manage to pause on the first frame Link side hops, you can unpause and hit the reset button right when the menu turns full black. If you paused on the second frame, then reset right after hitting the unpause button. If either are done correctly, you're now able to run around on the title screen. If you press A or start, the title graphic will come up, because believe it or not, but you are actually still on the title screen. And if you press any of those buttons a second time, you'll actually load in the file select and end the glitch. Keep in mind, if you are playing on the Wii version, you can actually crash the game if you press either A or start. You can fix this by falling into the void yet again, this time solidifying yourself in this alternate world. You can roll around, call Epona, swing your sword, pause, and most importantly, save the game. And thankfully, Twilight Princess asks you each time you save which file you want to save to. So go ahead and make that save file, and we'll get back to it later. If you call upon Epona, you can use her to travel around the map, and because this is a special version of Hyrule, it was never intended for you to leave this map. So if you ride Epona and then attempt to leave, say through the Kakariko exit, you'll find that Epona will just keep running. You can fly around all you want. Don't attempt to dismount Epona though, as Link can't walk on air. Away you go. Now we've run out of hearts, which means Link immediately dies. If you decide to continue, the game will now load the real Hyrule Field map, not the title screen one. So when Link respawns, he is sent back to the King Bublin fight, which is something that occurs earlier in the game's story, thus the name Back in Time, as it was still believed this trick was only possible to perform in the Arbiter's grounds. This happens because the first time you ever see this side of Hyrule is during the King Bublin fight. Unfortunately, you're stuck on the other side of the bridge. To fix this, you're going to have to jump off the bridge 3 times to kill Link yet again. If you're playing on the GameCube version for some reason, you'll just spawn right in the fight. If you win the fight, you go back to Kakariko Village. The only problem is that you haven't freed it from Twilight on the save file yet, causing Link to play around in Kakariko as human Link in the Twilight. This is pretty much where the trick ends. You can't leave on either side, and you're kind of just stuck as human Link. If you reload the area, Kakariko will actually load normally, but because you aren't Wolf Link, you can't use your senses to get the Tears of Light, so you're kind of just stuck there. So why don't we open up that secret 4th file from earlier? Well, you'll find that you respawn not in Hyrule, but in Faron Woods. This is because this is the first time the real game is being loaded on the save file, not just the special map. And this area is the first one shown in the game, as seen by the intro cutscene. And so, you're able to head out and explore Faron Woods. If you get the lantern and save Tallow and the monkey, the game will seemingly progress like normal, albeit a few minor visual bugs. However, once Ilia takes Epona away, you can enter the mayor's house, and after talking to him repeatedly, you can actually get the iron boots earlier than you would. Once you leave the mayor's hut, you'll see Epona just sticking out of the wall, and you can even ride her, even though Ilia left with her. If you hop on Epona and try to leave with her, the game will crash. If you enter without her, you can go and talk to Ilia, and you can actually end the prologue sequence of the game right then and there, since this is now when the game introduces the Twilight section. You'll find that Wolf Link also has the sword and shield. I'm not sure how this affects the game going forward, since you also don't have the slingshot, so this is pretty much where this route ends too. So while this glitch may seem a little pointless, it's honestly one of my favorite and most fascinating glitches of all time. It takes you to this alternate world where things aren't what they seem. It's a glitched world where certain plot elements coexist with each other. The only other glitch that comes to mind is the Kennel World glitch from Link's Awakening. This incredibly easy and simple glitch has Link going to a completely insane and glitched out world. But did you know that Back in Time also works in Wind Waker and Skyward Sword? See, they all continue to run slightly after pressing the reset button, which means they all have that frame window where Link both respawns and loads the title screen. In Wind Waker, it's not super useful. There is a way to actually bring back some of your inventory items into the title screen, but that's about as far as the glitch lets you go. In Skyward Sword, however, it's actually possible to create a corrupted save file, and speedruns of the game actually use Back in Time quite heavily. So I hope this was a much better deep dive into the glitch, which, by the way, is a complete misnomer. I mean, it's called Back in Time, but you usually do it at the beginning of the game, so it should honestly be called Forward in Time. The original video is something I look back fondly on. I still remember filming it, waiting for it to be uploaded, and then checking my 3DS YouTube to see if it was finally up. I've always wanted to learn random tricks that let me play my favorite games in new and unique ways. It was this passion that led me to eventually create a dungeonless challenge in Ocarina of Time, which eventually led me into speedrunning, which is something I still do today. It's pretty coincidental that my first ever video was on a glitch called Back in Time, because here I am all these years later still talking about it. I've been making videos for the past 10 years now about all the dumb crap that I love, and I have no plan on stopping. So thanks for watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. So not only am I releasing a remaster to this video, but I'm also remastering a never-before-seen video that, for one reason or another, never got uploaded to YouTube. Keep in mind, it is literally just a video I made when I was 10. It's not very interesting or good. I just want to have it up on YouTube for preservation's sake. So anyways, there's that. Thanks for watching. Did you know that my uncle texted my mom after that video came out just to tell me I spelled subscribe wrong in the intro? Hey man, I'm 10.